Hi, this is Dorothy with Scrapbooking, and these are the alternate cards from Wonderland that I'm going to be putting together. And so I kind of like the shaker. I'm kind of into the shaker thing right now, and it's because I love these snowflakes. I really love the snowflakes. So these are the cards that we're going to put together. So I am kind of just going by, this is project, I believe, 2 or 3, whichever. And I'm getting out the pieces for that particular card. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and I'm going to, I'm going to do a lot of what the card originally shows. But then I'm going to go ahead and make a shaker out of it. So I'm going to stamp it with the rosemary, just like I did with the original card, and put all the shadowing and stuff on the little scene. The shakers really came to mind because these are like little scenes from a snow globe. So that was kind of what I was thinking in terms of kind of making my own two-dimensional snow globe. And so I'm going ahead and doing the random stamping with the snowflakes, and I'll use the white gel pen also. So random, I'm showing just kind of making, always keep in mind a triangle when you're trying to do random stamping. And I like to do some falling off the edge stamps just to keep it a little different. And then, the little dots just add to the little snowfall. So the big flakes are the close ones, and the little tiny ones are the far away flakes. And it makes for a cute background paper too. I mean, you could totally just use it as background paper for scrapbooking. So I'm going to go ahead and do the ripping for the original card. And I'm pulling it towards me so I get a nice white edge showing. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting the pieces in place. Now this one just has a small edge showing around the edges, and then I'm tucking the little glacier piece that has a little snowfall of its own going on up under the wisteria piece. And then I've got the little 1/4 inch piece going down below. So essentially the same card so far. And I'm putting hello friend because, like I've said before, this little snowman looks like he's waving hello to me. So the only difference I'm making is I'm going to go ahead and stick the little snow scene down with my little snowman. And then I'm going to do a shaker card. I always have to think of just exactly how I'm going to go about, because there's different ways you can put the shakers together. So the one thing you do want to do, though, is loosen up the edge between the squares and then the round piece. And I'm just kind of shooting in the dark here, trying to center where I think the snowman is. And then I'm just pulling. And see, when you use that technique of loosening the edges, you really can just, pulling it off is absolutely no problem. And see, there's the snowflakes that I love so much. So, and they're iridescent, so a lot of times they show up blue, but they're iridescent, so there's kind of a pink hue to them, and white and blue. And I did use, even though I used the anti-static pouch, I still get some static. So there's a lot of static going on with these sequins, believe me. So I'm adding a little bit of anti-static to the window also, and giving a good tight fit. Now the big thing that works when you're using the anti-static is you get fewer sequins sticking to the that super sticky 3D foam tape that goes around the edge. And then you start trying to pull them off, you start having all sorts of problems, which you've probably seen me do. So there's my little snow globe, my interpretation of a snow globe. And what I'm doing, so I'm adding some glue so you know what's going to follow. So I'm going to take my handy dandy little wax tool here, and wherever I put a little glue dot, I'm adding a snowflake. So the little wisteria snowflakes kind of show, and that's totally okay. I'm kind of trying to put the snowflake, the little arms going at the opposite angle of the stamped ones. So there we've got a full-blown, big-time snow scene going on here. And I have a little clump of the sequins over the snowman's head, but I loosen that up later on, so that's not a problem. Nothing to worry about. They're just clumped up together. They're not sticking together. They're just kind of pressured together there. So you can work with it and loosen them up. So this is the next one that I'm going to do. This is actually project 4. And I'm going to take one of the pieces from project 4, all the little pieces that we used, except, sorry, I'm not using the rectangle here. That the rectangle, the snow globe, the shaker window is actually going to take place of the rectangle, which is the tag. So I'm going to go ahead like I did, and I'm going to stamp my scene. And this is the deer scene. So I'm once again using the rosemary and getting a good impression. I'm using the other side of my close to my heart mat, and I'm getting all sorts of stuff on it. All that white is the anti-static pouch powder from the pouch. And I'm trimming off my extra long piece. So I'm going to go ahead and add the white stitches to that because I really like that detail. And I'm going to include that on my card. So there we go. Now we've got those pieces. Get a card here. And I'm going to go ahead and place it down, and then place the wisteria strip down with the stitches on it. So just like the project 4. And then instead of putting the scene on the tag, I'm putting it on, I cut out a circle that, it's one of the circles that goes with making the stitched pieces for the round shaker window. So you get a big 3-inch circle, thin cut, along with the stitched outer top circle that hides all the rough edges, raw edges. So I'm adding a little snowflake, but I'm not using the big snowflakes. I'm using the tiny little ones. And I'm going to put my scene down. If there's a place that you don't particularly like and you want to hide, that's what the scene's for. So there we go. And anti-static again. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm offsetting it so I can go ahead and put the sentiment on the front of the card. So I have to kind of offset it a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I don't think I've got enough room on just barely. Well, we'll see what I do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I didn't put do the bottom side technique first. So I'm going to go ahead and I may just forget about it because that looks fine. What I did was I flipped the sentiment over and stamped in second generation the back side of the warm hugs to kind of give a background. So now I'm going to do the same kind of thing where I just like I did with the other circle. But with this one, it's really easier because I've got the circle, the white cardstock circle to go by. The other one I was just kind of aiming to and hoping that I was going to be in the center, over the center of the scene. So I press that down real good. And because I've got, look at how good that comes up. Just wait, I'll show you one that doesn't work out so good. Okay, so there's my little eraser technique for pulling off finding the edge. And I'm gonna use the little spoon and maybe not sprinkle quite so many and kind of spread them out a little bit. So I'm not gonna load them on there like I did the first one. And then we've got the window going over top, and that one actually works a little bit better. And I'm putting glue, I'm putting the clear Tombow on the back side of the, I don't know what to call that, the cover rim. Anyway, look at how pretty. Yay. So there's a similar idea. So you've got the idea, but you're just putting a little bit different take on it. And so, I have a whole bunch of shaker windows, and they sit around, and it's like, why did you buy so many if you're not going to use them? So let's just use them, and, everybody loves the little shakers. The kids love them to play with them, and, adults love them too. So I'm putting the little wood stars on, and I'm adding stickles to the center because you always like a little bit of glitz going, right? And so there's the next one. There's the comparison between the original and then the alternate card. And I have to tell you, I feel better about using the cards. I mean, using the cards. Listen to me. Using my pieces that I've just kind of put aside. So the shaker pieces for in this case. I've got like 5 packages of them. And, why am I just not doing anything with them? It's crazy. Okay, so I'm taking the one piece from Project 4 here and flipping it over to use trying to figure out what to do. So I'm combining Project 4 and I think this is Project 1. So I'm taking some pieces from Project 1 and a piece from Project 4. And so I'm going to put the zip strip. So I'm doing this differently than they did the original one. But I'm still getting the same kind of idea. So I'm going to have, the 2 zip strips, and that is Glacier, but I don't know that I'm going to actually use it. So I have a Glacier and I've got a white. And I was just thinking the white is probably better. And so what I'm going to do on this one is, in using the white 3-inch circle, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp directly on the 3-inch circle. And then I'm not using the little scene to glue on, and the snowflakes may actually shake even a little bit better. than they would than they do with the glued in piece. It's just kind of, you know, the little edges can catch, you know, nothing bad because they're stuck straight down, but, and then I'm adding the little tiny snowflake to add a little flurry around the house. And I'm kind of coloring in the snow area that's around the foot of the house. Now I'm not using the pink to make a pink house. This is just going to be a white house with a green roof. And I'm going to go ahead and put the wisteria pieces on there, and I'm totally going to do the pen technique. And I'm carrying these all the way to the edge. Now I could cut these pieces so that they're right in line with the glacier piece, but you know, I kind of want them to go all the way out to the edge, so that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get, there's a little bit of the rosemary green on this card, and so I'm going to put that piece down at the bottom just to have, you know, a little bit of different color in there, and it brings the color from the house together. Also, that otherwise that would be the only rosemary that was on the card. So this way, okay, so I'm going to use, now this is what I'm telling you. I'm going to use, this is an older where I've pulled up some of the squares already. See, I didn't loosen the pieces around the edge. Okay, I haven't glued that piece down yet. And so now I'm going to remove the rim and pull the squares up. And look at how the squares just want to hold on, and they just really don't want to come up. So see what I'm saying? That's why it's really good to use your piercing tool or a little bitty knife edge to go around between the squares and the round circle. It makes a big difference. So I mean, little things like that just make it, whether it's a little bit frustrating or taking all the frustration out of it. And so I'm going to go ahead and prepare my window. I need to pull my hair back. It's just all in the way. And take my little ice cream spoon and put some snowflakes. Yeah, they're just kind of getting caught on the edge there. I tell you, I have a whole nother package too. This is what happens to me. I like something so much I get a bunch of it, and then it sits around, and it's like, but I'm going to make a bunch more shaker cards, and I'm going to use a big oval. So I'm hoping to use a bunch of my snowflakes, but I think I'm still going to have a whole ton left. So you may be seeing a lot of shakers with snowflakes here. So I'm adding my glue again, and hopefully by the end of seeing all of these cards, you're going to be really comfortable with maybe doing a shaker card of your own if you haven't tried it yet, because they're really fun. And I'm telling you, I do have adults who really love to play with them. So, and don't feel bad about it either if you're one of them. Okay, so I'm making my squiggly line, then I'm going to go in the opposite direction and try to go opposite. I don't do a real good job of that, but I like the squiggly line. I think it does, it kind of looks like an intertwined, I don't know, thread, rope, whatever. And then with the dots along it. I really like that detail. So there we go. And okay, I need to glue my window down. So here we go. I'm putting plenty on there to keep it down. Okay. Now I left space there for this purpose. Okay. So I'm going to do what I was talking about. I'm just stamping the bottom of Warm Hugs in second generation. And so just a faint outline of the shape of Warm Hugs. So there we go. You can kind of see it just kind of is a little background for the words. And so I do like, oh dear, excuse me, silly phone. That's my 1001st spam call of the day. You know, in Texas, they're really not helping us very much with the robo calls and the spam calls. In fact, they're getting worse. And they allowed the Department of Motor Vehicle Bureau to sell our information to make money to these robocalls. Kind of frustrating. Okay, so I'm just going to add a couple of more dots. And there we go. And so I've got my snowflakes all around the background. And isn't it funny how they look blue, but they're really iridescent? So there's that card. And just trim the little edge off there. So fun. And there's my envelope to go with it. And here are all the cards, all finished and all together. So I used rosemary and wisteria and my white gel pen and love my little wax stick for picking up the sequins. So there we go. That's my alternate Wonderland cards. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to me. Bye. Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.